It's Platt, and today we try one incredible beer. That's next to Platt's Beer of the Week. So the particular beer we have today is Incredible Pulp Extra Pale Ale. Comes to us from the fine folks at Boneyard Brewing. A little background of Boneyard Brewing. Boneyard was founded in the historical district of Bend, Oregon back in 2010. The founders are Tony Lawrence and Melody Story, along with her husband Clay. Now, Tony had been in the brewing business for years and years and years, and had picked up various pieces of used brewing equipment throughout his time. I believe he got pieces from like 13 different breweries, thus having his own boneyard of used brewing equipment that he used, obviously, to create Boneyard Brewing. Today, they still use the original used 20-barrel system that they used to start the brewery. They use that today as kind of their system to make specialty beers, one-off beers, what have you. After about 4 years in the business, around 2014, they opened up a full-blown production facility in Northeast Bend. They installed a 40-barrel system, thus more than doubling capacity, and they have a 15,000 square foot facility that today is capable of putting out roughly 38,000 barrels, or around 76,000 kegs of beer. So this is definitely a big time operation. This is not a tiny brewery in any way. In 2018, they opened up the Boneyard Pub. Has giant beer garden, catering facilities, banquets, indoor, outdoor dining. I believe they have live music. Just a great way to interact with the guests and kind of open up to the people of Bend, Oregon. Their beers today are currently distributed throughout the Northwest. I believe when I found this beer just a couple weeks ago, they're just kind of coming into this market. Maybe they're finally kind of working their way down the West Coast, but they are distributed on the West. They have not gone nationwide yet, but hopefully good things come to them. Real quick, let's talk about some of their other beers. The first is Three-Headed Hop Monster. This is a 9% ABV double Indian Pale Ale. Has 85 IBU, thus the name Hop Monster does come in handy. The next beer is Armored Fist. This is a 9% ABV. They use the term Cascadian Dark Ale. I got a feeling that might be something they've made up. Stylistically, from what I gather, this is more replicates the classic dark Belgian strong ale. So maybe this is their twist on that. Obviously, being in Oregon, Cascadia, probably they're using West Coast or Cascadian style hops. This particular beer is a collaboration with Three Floyd Brewing. So if you're a fan of Three Floyd's stuff, definitely keep an eye out for that. Next beer is Damn Special Bitters. This is a 6.5% ABV ESB, or Extra Special Bitters. This is a little tweak on the classic English bitters style, in the sense that those are traditionally made with noble hops. Here they're using some hops from Australia and some classic kind of northwestern West Coast hops. So you're going to probably get a little more piney, citrusy notes. This will be probably a little juicier than the standard classic English special bitters. Lastly is a beer that I think some of you old school hip hop fans might really like, and it's called Suge Knight. 13% ABV, a big strong beer named after a big strong man. This particular beer is barrel aged, so you're going to pick up some oak, some whiskey, I believe molasses is in there. So again, it's just going to be big, dark, full-bodied beer. Insert jokes here. I don't know if Mr. Knight's tried this beer, but I hope he has. Real quick, just kind of go through the rest of their line of beers. They have a pretty extensive line of beers, and it's well balanced. You'll see some breweries that might do 20 beers, but 13 of them are IPAs or sours or what have you. They kind of cover the full spectrum, and they've got something for nearly every beer drinker out there. So I kind of like that. One of the things I noticed on their website too, which I thought was kind of cool, was they made a note that they don't do seasonal beers. They call them occasional. So we'll get around to it when we brew them. And I remember I told that to the brewer where I work at now, and he kind of chuckled and thought he kind of liked that idea. Also, too, they produce a CBD elixir. We've talked about this before, that other breweries branching out into other product lines, whether it's the hard seltzers, sodas, root beers, what have you. Oregon being a cannabis-friendly state kind of makes sense. Well, before we try this particular beer, though, let's check out the stats. So real quick today, I want to talk about something just kind of more for my personal frame of reference. This particular beer is made with blood oranges. I have heard that term forever and ever, and I've especially in the cocktail world, it gets used a lot. Or I really didn't know what a blood orange was. I probably tasted one and just forgot it or what have you. So I did a little research, and this is what we found out. Blood oranges tend to be smaller in size than normal oranges, but they tend to be sweeter, and they tend to have quite a bit more sugar content. And this leads to kind of a unique issue. You may or may not know, sometimes if you leave juice out of the refrigerator after it's open or whatever, you might get fermentation started. Sometimes there's yeast just in the juicing process, pressing or whatever, the skins, whatever. You sometimes get yeast in there, and then when the right temperature, along with the natural sugars are in there, you can get fermentation. Thus making blood orange great to throw in a beer for that purpose only. But that's one of the things that makes blood orange just a little more unique. These particular beers or oranges tend to be great in desserts. Again, I've used them in cocktails. They make good marmalades if you're into marmalades, and I've actually used marmalades in cocktails before. So again, it kind of really works out. Blood oranges tend to peel a little easier, which is nice. The exterior color, or the skin, looks pretty much the same. It's when you get on the inside, you're going to get a dark pink, maroon, blood color. But I just never really researched the blood orange, so this is a great excuse for me to check it out. So if any of you out there who's kind of like me, never really dealt with a blood orange, that's what we got here. Well, enough about that. Let's drink a beer made with blood orange. All right. You know what? We got a little orange haze to this. Nice finger of mostly white foam. Oh, plenty of malt on the nose. Let's give her a try. Well, that's a nice little beer. Not as much hops as I thought I was going to get. I didn't get a ton on the nose, but on the smell, I thought, all right, I might have a little more hops to it. This still has a hop bitterness, some of that hop flavor. It'll hit you a little bit in the back of the mouth, but not a lot. But a nice, sweet beer. It's not over the top. The blood orange is not over the top, but it's subtle. It's a complementary flavor, not a dominant flavor. Nice easygoing beer at 6%. There's not enough alcohol for you to really notice. Should be still fairly drinkable. It's about that 5 to 6% that you kind of leave the Sission end of the world, but this, again, body-wise and stuff, it's not going to be a big beer. This might be something you could get your less adventurous friends. I don't know if you're going to get someone necessarily a hardcore Miller Lite drinker to this, but someone that maybe has gone from blonde, you've gotten to like the blonde ale phase. This might be something you can get them into. But overall, well-executed beer. Just, the right amount of the blood orange, very drinkable, body-wise, medium-ish body. Enough carbonation in the beer. Just a nice, well-executed beer that just added one more simple flavor to it, didn't get too extravagant. Well, I hope you like this beer. If you did, please subscribe below. Also, please like the beer because it lets YouTube know we're putting out good content. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or beers that you'd like me to try, please leave them in the comment section, or you can always contact me on the Twitter page. Till next time, bottoms up.